January 7, 2006, Highland Falls, New York. Petra Muhammad, 30 years old, has errands to run this Saturday. Normal errands, the kind everyone runs on the weekend. She pays her cell phone bill. Routine. She goes shopping at the mall with a friend. Just browsing, maybe picking up a few things. Everything is finally working for Petra. For the first time in years, her life is coming together. She's a student at the State University of New York in Newburgh, SUNY Orange, studying diagnostic imaging. She's going to be an X-ray technician. She has goals, a career mapped out. She's working part-time as a cashier at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, making her own money, building independence. And she's about to do something that will change everything. She's about to sign a lease for her own apartment, her own place, away from her husband, away from the violence, away from William. Finally, getting free. Her cousin Angela will later tell reporters, "Everything was working for her. I don't know what happened." That afternoon, a relative sees Petra walking into her house at 35 Schneider Avenue. It's a house owned by William's parents, the house where Petra lives with her husband and their young son. The relative watches her go inside, doesn't think anything of it. It's the last time anyone ever sees Petra Muhammad alive. 4 weeks later, when police finally get permission to search that house, they'll find something that makes their blood run cold. Family photos scattered throughout the home. Normal family photos. William, Petra, their son at holidays and birthdays. Everyday moments captured on film. Except Petra's face has been cut out of every single one. Carefully excised, like someone was erasing her from existence piece by piece. And in one of the rooms, investigators will find a doll with a noose tied around its neck. Before we go any further, you need to understand who Petra was, because what happens to her, what her husband does to her, only makes sense when you know the life she'd lived. Petra Loretta Muhammad was born in Grenada, a Caribbean immigrant with dreams of something better. But her life had never been easy, never stable. She was adopted by relatives as an infant, bounced between family members growing up. She never really had consistent parents, never had that foundation most people take for granted. At 14 years old, Petra fled Grenada for Trinidad. Why? Because neighbors had started questioning who her real father was. The shame, the gossip, the whispers behind her back. She couldn't take it anymore, so she packed her bags and left. At 22, around 1998, Petra came to New York City on vacation, staying with family in the Bronx, just visiting, taking a break from her life in Trinidad. That's when she met William Jackson. He was teaching computer classes at a learning center in Brooklyn, Crown Heights. He seemed intelligent, thoughtful. He respected her desire to save sex for marriage, something that meant a lot to Petra. Her uncle remembers her being genuinely charmed by him. This seemed like a good man, a man who understood her values. 2 years later, during another visit to the United States, Petra and William got serious. They found a place together, started building a life. August 14, 2001, they got married. By then, William had converted to Islam, changed his name from William Jackson to William Muhammad. Petra didn't convert, but she supported his choice. They moved to Highland Falls to be near William's family, started fresh, new town, new life. Petra thought she'd finally found what she'd been searching for her whole life: stability, a husband, a home, a future that made sense. Then she got pregnant, and everything changed. 2002. Petra is pregnant with their son. It's a difficult pregnancy, the kind that requires frequent hospital visits, the kind where you need your partner present, need support, need someone there. But William is working near Washington, D.C., hours away, emotionally distant even when he's physically present. Petra feels abandoned during the worst 9 months of her life. She's going through this alone, and she starts to resent him for it. Her uncle, St. John J.J. Joseph, will later recall Petra's exact words. She figured William wasn't involved in the pregnancy, so she didn't want him involved in the baby's life. That's how the resentment started, but it didn't stay at resentment. Minor disagreements grew into something darker. Verbal arguments became verbal threats. Verbal threats became physical violence. William slamming doors in the middle of the night, breaking things in the house. Petra lying awake, unable to sleep, listening to him rage. Multiple times Petra fled to Brooklyn, to her cousin Angela Joseph's place. She always brought their son with her. She said she had enough of William, Angela remembers. Sometimes she can't sleep at night. He'd slam all the doors, break stuff in the house. I said, "Petra, just come down here." But Petra always went back. Where else could she go? She had no money, no family in America except distant cousins, no resources to build a life on her own. So she went back, again and again. The abuse escalated. By 2005, it was unbearable. July 7th, 2005, William filed for divorce. Finally, Petra thought, finally this nightmare is ending. But divorce wouldn't be simple. There was a child involved, custody to fight over, property to divide. And William wasn't about to let Petra leave with his son, wasn't about to lose control. 4 months before Petra disappeared, she went to a judge. And what she told that judge would predict exactly how she would die. September 5, 2005. Petra Muhammad stands before an Orange County family court judge. She's seeking an order of protection from her husband. She describes the abuse. William pushed and shoved her, hit her in the face. The violence was regular now, constant. He locked her and their child out of the house, just locked the door while they were outside, refused to let them back in. He disabled the phone so she couldn't call for help, cut off her ability to reach anyone. But it's what Petra says next that will haunt this case forever. The words that will echo through every police report, every news article, every conversation about what happened to her. William threatened to kill her. He told her, and Petra repeats this to the judge, he told her he was going to kill her, but didn't know what to do with her body. Think about that. Think about the specificity of that threat. Not just, "I'm going to kill you," but "I don't know what to do with your body." He was already thinking about disposal, already planning. The judge grants the order of protection, prohibits William from harassing Petra. But protective orders are just paper. They don't stop hands around a throat, don't stop whatever happens when a man who's threatened to kill you finally decides to act. Petra's uncle remembers another story she told him. Years earlier, back when things were first getting bad, William took Petra to a park somewhere upstate, isolated, away from people. He told her he was going to kill her right there, only stopped when other people appeared, witnesses, so he backed off. The threats weren't new. They'd been building for years, escalating, getting more specific. And on January 7th, 2006, William would finally make good on those promises. January 7th, 2006. This day is significant for multiple reasons. Petra pays her cell phone bill that morning. Routine errand. Goes to the mall with a friend. Normal Saturday afternoon. A relative sees her walking into the house on Schneider Avenue. Last confirmed sighting. But there's something else happening on January 7th, something Petra may not have known about. Sheriff's deputies are scheduled to serve William Muhammad with court papers that day, papers pertaining to his divorce application, the divorce he filed back in July. January 11th, just 4 days away, they have a court hearing scheduled. Both of them are supposed to appear. But William doesn't want this divorce on Petra's terms. He's fighting for custody of their son, fighting for control. And on January 7th, the day those papers are being served, the day the legal process is catching up to him, Petra disappears. Her cell phone goes silent. After that afternoon, no more calls, no more texts, no more activity. Petra Muhammad is never heard from again. But here's what's shocking. Here's what destroyed this case before it even began. Nobody reports her missing, not for weeks. Days pass after January 7, then a week, then 2 weeks, then 3. Nobody files a missing persons report. William certainly doesn't. When police later ask him why not, he'll say Petra left him for short periods before. He assumed she did it again, said she took her belongings and moved out, suggested she went to New York City or back to her native Grenada. Just left, that's all. Meanwhile, Petra's relatives are trying to reach her, calling her cell phone, texting, getting no response, starting to worry. Finally, on February 2, 2006, almost 4 weeks after Petra was last seen, a relative reports her missing to police. 4 weeks. 28 days where nobody was officially looking for her, where evidence degraded, where memories faded, where trails went cold. David Hoovler, the former Orange County Assistant District Attorney who would work this case, will later say those 4 weeks destroyed everything. "We got into the game too late," Hoovler said. "Too much time passed, and once it passed, our window closed." But when police finally start investigating, when they finally sit down with William and ask him questions, his story immediately falls apart. Because Petra didn't take her belongings. Police ask William the obvious question, where did Petra go? William's answer is consistent. She took her stuff and left. Probably went to New York City. Maybe went back to Grenada. She'd done this before. She'd come back eventually. Police get a warrant. They search the house on Schneider Avenue. Petra's identification? Still there. Driver's license? Still there. Passport? Still there. All her clothes? Still there. Everything indicating she planned to return, everything suggesting she never left voluntarily. Think about this. A woman planning to leave the country doesn't leave her passport behind. A woman starting a new life doesn't leave her ID and driver's license. A woman abandoning her old existence doesn't leave every piece of clothing she owns. Petra was a student at SUNY Orange. She had goals, a future mapped out. She was studying diagnostic imaging, going to become an X-ray technician. She was about to sign a lease for her own apartment, finally getting away from William, finally building independence. Why would she abandon all of that? Why would she walk away from everything she'd worked for? Why would she leave her son? Her cousin Martin Nelson says what everyone's thinking. I know she's dead. Leave her child for so long? No way. She's dead, and I have a suspicion William is involved. Police turn their full attention to William. He becomes less than cooperative, won't answer questions, won't help the investigation, won't take a polygraph test. Just stonewalls. Highland Falls Police Chief Peter J. Miller will later say, "We suspect he has information that would be helpful in resolving this. He's been less than cooperative." So police get more warrants. They're going to search every inch of that house, the camper, the car, the pickup truck. And what they find inside will confirm their worst fears. March 2006. Police execute search warrants on the property at 35 Schneider Avenue. They're looking for blood, DNA, signs of a struggle, looking for Petra. They find no direct signs of foul play, no blood spatter, no body, no obvious crime scene. But they find something else, something that reveals William's psychological state in the weeks after Petra disappeared. Family photos. Throughout the house, normal family photos. William, Petra, their son. Holidays, birthdays, everyday moments. Except Petra's face has been cut out of every single one. Not torn, cut, carefully, deliberately, with scissors or a knife. Her face precisely excised from each photograph, like William was erasing her from his life piece by piece, like she never existed. And in one room, investigators find a doll. A doll with a noose tied around its neck, just sitting there, waiting to be discovered. A message? A threat carried out? A sick fantasy made real? Detective John Might knows what this means. This isn't a woman who left voluntarily. This is a woman whose husband was consumed with rage, obsessed with removing her from existence. But there's one more discovery, one more piece of evidence that will shape the entire theory of this case. In the upstairs bathroom. The upstairs bathroom at 35 Schneider Avenue is disgusting, filthy, grimy, clearly neglected for weeks or months. But in the middle of this revolting bathroom sits something that doesn't fit. A sparkling white bathtub. Brand new shower curtain hanging around it. Fresh plastic smell so strong Detective Might can smell it from the hallway. Everything else in that bathroom is covered in dirt and grime, but that tub? Spotless. Recently deep cleaned, scrubbed until it gleamed. New curtain just hung, still has that factory fresh smell. Why? Why would someone deep clean one bathtub in an otherwise filthy house? Why hang a fresh shower curtain in a bathroom you're clearly not maintaining? Police develop a theory. A horrifying theory that fits all the evidence. Was Petra killed in that bathtub? Did William clean it afterward, scrub away the blood, the DNA, the evidence? Did he hang a new shower curtain to replace the old one that was covered in spatter, then dispose of the body? The timeline fits perfectly. Petra last seen January 7th walking into the house. Village trash pickup happens that week. Police track Highland Falls' trash to a landfill in Pennsylvania. They know exactly where that week's garbage went. They know exactly where it was dumped. But they never dig it up. Too much time has passed. Too expensive. Too logistically difficult. The window closed. William's not talking, but other people are. The investigation expands beyond Highland Falls. Police question friends in Texas, people who knew the couple, anyone who might have information. They search woods and lakes throughout Orange County. Cadaver dogs, ground-penetrating radar, looking for anywhere William might have buried her. And they interview a woman in Montreal, a woman thought to be William's lover. William moved on quickly after Petra disappeared, started a new relationship while his wife was missing, while investigators were searching for her body. The Montreal woman is questioned. What did she know? When did their relationship start? Did William confide anything? Police don't release what she told them, but whatever it was, it doesn't lead to charges. Meanwhile, false sightings start coming in. People convinced they've seen Petra. April 2006, a Goshen lawyer named Michael Sussman calls local police. He's seen Petra, he's certain, driving southbound on the Tappan Zee Bridge near the Westchester County line. Police investigate immediately, pull traffic cameras, check everything. It's not her. It's a different woman from the city of Middletown. There are similarities, same height, same build, but it's not Petra. The family starts seeing things too, desperate for answers, desperate for anything. Petra's uncle in Amsterdam starts having recurring nightmares. Sometimes I would get dreams with her crying for help from William's parents' house, he writes in an email to police. More than 5 times I have dreamed with her, seeing her body tied with some sort of wire on a pole at a boat or yacht club. At times, he continues, I do not know what to believe. The family is desperate. The police are frustrated. The trail is going cold. And William Muhammad has moved to New Jersey with his son. January 11th, 2006. 4 days after Petra disappeared. William and Petra are supposed to appear in State Supreme Court in Goshen. Divorce conference scheduled. Both parties required to attend. Neither shows up. The court notes the absence, reschedules for January 25th. But here's what's significant. Here's what makes this so damning. Petra is already missing by this date, already gone, already, according to police theory, dead. And William doesn't tell the court, doesn't say his wife is missing, doesn't explain her absence, doesn't report anything wrong, just doesn't show up. 2 weeks later, January 25th, second scheduled court date. Again, neither William nor Petra appears. Acting State Supreme Court Justice Stuart Rosenwasser has had enough. After 2 no-shows, he dismisses the divorce case entirely. Problem solved for William. No divorce means no custody battle in divorce court, no child support payments to negotiate, no division of property. Petra wanted out, wanted freedom, wanted to build a life without William. Now she's gone in a different way, permanently. And the divorce case is dismissed, almost like he planned it. But there was another court case, one involving their son, one that tells an even darker story. February 24th, 2006. Family court hearings scheduled. William is facing harassment charges related to his treatment of Petra. She was supposed to testify, supposed to tell the judge about the abuse. She doesn't show, because she's been missing for 6 weeks now. Judge Carol Klein grows suspicious. Something isn't right here. Where is this woman? Why isn't she appearing for these critical hearings? Klein orders Child Protective Services to conduct an investigate the living conditions of the Muhammad's son, the child who's been living with William this whole time while his mother is missing. CPS conducts their investigation. The results aren't contained in public records, sealed to protect the child. But the child remains in William's custody. He's allowed to keep his son. Despite Petra's allegations of abuse, despite her claims documented in court papers that William was teaching their son so that he grows up and kills white people, despite her order of protection, despite everything, William gets to keep his son, gets to move to New Jersey, gets to start over, while Petra is missing, while her family searches, while police suspect he killed her. He's free, living in New Jersey, raising their child alone. Investigators believe they know exactly what happened. They just can't prove it. Police piece together a timeline based on all the evidence. January 7th, 2006. Morning. Sheriff's deputies are scheduled to serve William with divorce papers. Afternoon, Petra is seen walking into the house at 35 Schneider Avenue. Evening. Police believe William killed her, most likely in that upstairs bathroom. The sparkling clean tub in the filthy room, the fresh shower curtain, the smell of new plastic. He cleaned up the crime scene, scrubbed away the blood and DNA, hung new curtain to replace the one covered in evidence. Then he disposed of her body in the trash. Regular garbage pickup happened that week. The body was taken to a Pennsylvania landfill. The cutout photos show his mindset, erasing her, removing her from existence, one photograph at a time. The doll with the noose, a sick trophy, a threat fulfilled, a message to anyone who found it. Everything fits, the timing, the evidence, the behavior. Former Assistant DA David Hoovler will later say, "Does the case haunt me? Yeah, it does haunt me. It's one I wanted to put to rest, and it's one that if I could put it to rest, I would do it." But without a body, without physical evidence linking William to the crime scene, without his cooperation, they can't charge him, can't arrest him, can't bring him to trial, can't get justice for Petra. William is never named a suspect officially, never charged with any crime related to Petra's disappearance. He's free, and Petra's family is left with nothing but grief and suspicion. Detective John Might sums up the frustration. Obviously, we don't think she's sitting down having coffee somewhere, but what do you do? What do you do when you know what happened but can't prove it? September 5th, 2005. 4 months before Petra disappeared. She stood before a judge and said the words that would predict her own death. William threatened to kill her, told her he was going to kill her but didn't know what to do with her body. She told them, she warned them, she literally described her own murder before it happened. The judge granted the protective order, but protective orders don't stop what happened in my bathroom on January 7. Petra's uncle remembered other warnings. Years earlier, William took Petra to a park somewhere upstate, isolated, no witnesses, told her he was going to kill her, only stopped when other people appeared. The threats weren't idle, they were promises, rehearsals. And on January 7, 2006, when deputies were coming to serve divorce papers, when Petra was finally building a life without him, when she was about to sign a lease for her own apartment, when everything was finally working for her, William made good on his promise. And because Petra had told him her exact fear, didn't know what to do with her body, he knew exactly what he had to do. Make sure nobody ever found it. Petra Muhammad left behind a son, a little boy who was 3.5 years old when his mother disappeared, who lives with his father now. The father, police believe, killed his mother. Growing up without her, without answers, without knowing what happened that day. She left behind cousin Angela Joseph in Brooklyn, who took her in when she fled, who told her, "Petra, just come down here," who watched her friend try to build a life, who saw everything working for her, then watched her vanish. She left behind Uncle J.J. Joseph in Amsterdam, who has nightmares about her body tied with wire, who doesn't know what to believe anymore. She left behind dreams, becoming an X-ray technician, her diagnostic imaging degree at SUNY Orange, her own apartment, freedom from William, a future. She left behind a warning that nobody heeded, words spoken to a judge 4 months before her death. Going to kill her but didn't know what to do with her body. She told them what would happen, and it happened anyway. January 7, 2006. Petra Loretta Muhammad, 30 years old, 5'7", 120 to 133 pounds. Black hair, brown eyes. Caribbean immigrant with dreams. Last seen walking into 35 Schneider Avenue, Highland Falls, New York. No activity on her cell phone since that day. No activity on her social security number. No evidence she left the country. Just gone. William Muhammad is living in New Jersey, raising their son. Never charged, never arrested, never made to answer for what police believe he did. The trash from that week sits in a Pennsylvania landfill. Petra possibly buried there under tons of garbage, never to be recovered. Her face cut out of every family photo, erased, removed, like William wanted. Nearly 20 years later, Petra is still missing, still waiting to be found, still waiting for justice, still waiting for someone to prove what everyone already knows. William Muhammad killed his wife and got away with it. If you have any information about the disappearance of Petra Loretta Muhammad, please contact Highland Falls Police Department, 845-446-3311. National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. If someone threatens to kill you, believe them. If someone tells you they don't know what to do with your body, run. Don't wait for the courts. Don't wait for protective orders. Run. Petra's story didn't have to end this way. Don't let someone else's story end this way either. Let me know your theory in the comments below. And if you believe Petra Loretta Muhammad deserves to be found, please subscribe, like this video, and share her story.